We are live, apparently. Hopefully everything's working. I am such an infrequent streamer that I have heart palpitations, honestly, when I go live. I just wait for my PC to explode. I've been waiting for this PC to explode for a couple of years. We haven't got there yet. How's it going, everyone? Today should be an interesting one. The Crimson Samurai was indeed first. How you doing, buddy? Good to see ya. Creepers go bang. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some good news and info. We'll see. How's it going, everyone? Cheers for dropping by. I kind of decided in the last moments, yo, let's stream the thing today, because it's going to be a busy one whichever way I play it. So why not hang out and check out the stuff? Why are you getting error codes in Destiny? I believe the servers are actually down at the minute. We're getting another update today. Another hotfix. So we'll see what we get there. Yo! Wow, this chat kind of lit up. How you guys doing? You might hear me twice here because I'm just checking. Yeah, we got audio. That's good. Apparently Bungie's stream is actually going to be starting pretty soon. They got their start screen up, so I'm just tweaking some stuff here. Messing around with some things. As I said, guys, I'm just kind of, in the last, hour, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stream. Let's throw it all together last minute. Yeah, the server's down for just a little bit longer. Mike, hello from Derby, UK. How you doing, my friend? I'm not too far away from you. I'm, down kind of close to, Tamworth. Not too far from Birmingham. From Birmingham! But yeah, this should be an interesting one today. Curious to see what we get. I was kind of pleasantly surprised by... I mean, it was a very minuscule preview that we got last week in the Twid. But, yeah, it was a little more than I was expecting. In terms of the potential for new content. Interesting hearing you live. Cheers, Brian. I just kind of make it up as I go along. We just don't have the luxury of editing now, right? So, probably be some bloopers. Greetings from Tunbridge in Kent. How you doing, Andrew? Thank you guys for hanging out today. I figured because, yeah, this is happening. It's kind of curious that Bungie are doing this over the reset hour, right? It makes it kind of interesting for me because we'll do the live part now and then I guess revert to covering patch notes, reset stuff in a bit, and then kind of come back to the Into the Light thing and maybe do a bit of recapping. Hoping it's going to be a juicy one. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Ryan, my friend. You're not taking me to Drayton Manor then, Houndish? Hey, who knows? You never know. It's probably it's 10 miles down the road from me, something like that. But yeah, I need a little bit of cheering up. Hopefully we get some good Destiny news. I've been both of our kids have got conjunctivitis at the minute, so their eyes are all gooey and gross. And it's been a rough few days locked in the house with snotty children, which we find ourselves doing very often at the moment. So I've kind of escaped. I left my girlfriend with the kids, so I've kind of escaped upstairs. Hey, I'm going to work. I'm going to do the easy job for a while. Cheers, Will. I'm sure debuffed kids, right? I'm sure they'll get there. I am indeed a daddy. As of, wow. Our first daughter is nearly 3 years old now, which is really scary. I'm here to cheer you up, Duddits, my friend. As always, I appreciate you. Big shout out to my good friend Duddits, who's also helping us with a little bit of moderation, assuming that he's not farming for the Slammer sword at reset, which he probably will be doing, to get some juicy build content on the go. My kids love when you say, hope you have an awesome day. They like how you sound. I'm glad they dig it. I'm glad we can bring some good vibes. But yeah, super curious to see what we get today. So, like, Bungie are doing 3 separate streams, which is, like, that's a lot. They haven't really even been doing that for expansions, right? Hardly. Maybe, like, 1 or 2. So it's a bit of a different thing. They're going to kind of go in depth. It reminds me a bit more of what they did back in D1 with, like, House of Wolves and things like that. I remember there were a few, like, live streams before those early DLCs where they kind of went into more detail about specific kind of features and things like that, which is much more kind of hands-on, I suppose, than maybe what you get in the TWID. Although the TWIDs have had some very good info over the past little while, of course. Let me just check my... Yeah, I got my weird screen set up and stuff kind of all over the place. When does Into the Light release? It will be the 9th of April. Yeah, so that'll be update 736. And they say as well there'll be further tuning to the sandbox and quality of life. With Into the Light delivering new game content available to all players throughout the months of April and May in prep for the final shape in June. And that's the point of the live stream. So they're going to kind of focus on different components of this, I believe, in each of the streams. And that probably means today is probably quite a juicy one, really, because they're going to put, I would assume they will put front and center. This is what you're going to get in Into the Light. This is the new stuff. And that's probably what they're going to focus on today, I think, is probably like the flashy components. Here's a new game mode that we've got. Here's some new rewards and things like that. And then I guess the other streams may focus on other elements. There've been a lot of like speculation and leaks and stuff like that about what we might get. Potential Black Armory reprisals of some sort being in the mix as well. So hopefully Bungie are going to be touching on a bunch of different areas of the game. Let's have a look at this. I also had better test that my screen recording setup doesn't mess with my stream. It looks good. That's positive. That's a positive. Prez, thanks a bunch for the support, my friend. I'm glad you dig the content. Ballsy, if they give us Red Death earlier than Final Shape, you'd be so happy. That would be awesome. Definitely. I mean, who knows? They might have pulled a few little things out of the Final Shape. I kind of get the impression they've been doing that. Not so much with like Riven's wishes and things, but maybe components of like the March update that we just had. It sort of looks like they probably pulled a few things forward, really. I mean, they even did that with, arguably, potentially with Season of the Wish as well, because we got like Dragon's Breath, which they put it in the Final Shape showcase, and then we got it in Season of the Wish. And also the sidearm from the dungeon as well this season was one that they'd sort of... The indication on the showcase was that, hey, this is a Final Shape thing. So they're kind of trying to pad things out. But it's an interesting one, because, yeah, I'm kind of like... it looks like Into the Light will be... probably have more elements than I thought it was going to have when they initially announced it. But equally, you want to temper expectations, right? Yeah, so it's an interesting one. Definitely there's going to be a bunch of sort of reprise content in there as well. Do you do OBS or Streamlabs? I do classic OBS. The same OBS that I've been using for like so many years. I'm terrified of change. And this seems to mainly work. I don't do a bunch of streaming though. I mainly use OBS, like if I do some stuff like this. And also the Zer videos, I just kind of live record that on a Friday. I want to see Tyson in combat boots and a Hawaiian t-shirt. Yeah, that would be awesome. And the hat. He needs to have the cool hat as well that he's been wearing for quite a while. I guess that's a good point, actually. We haven't really heard a lot from Tyson Green just yet. Tyson Green's going to be the new game director, or is the new game director now, for Destiny. So I guess if anyone is likely to do a bunch of talking today, Tyson Green might be giving us a few insights. He's always, I mean, he's worked on a bunch of really cool stuff at Bungie. Comes across as obviously a really intelligent, creative guy. He knows a lot about this type of game, and he's responsible for a lot of really good stuff in Destiny. So, did Sony bring him in? Not as far as I'm aware. Tyson Green is like old school Bungie. He's been there for a real long time. And I guess Joe Blackburn has got other ideas, as it were. But I imagine, like, being a game director, it must be really intense, right? It's one of those jobs where you're rarely off the hook in terms of like work just cropping up at crazy times of the day and over the weekend, and it's got to be pretty intense because you have to make a lot of decisions, right? That various teams and different components of Bungie are, you know, kind of, they look to you for leadership, so it's got to be intense, man. Luke Smith coming back. I don't know what Luke Smith's doing. It's not entirely clear, really. He was, he did move over to being, what was it, head of alternate media or something like that for Destiny, so I wonder what Bungie are working on. I guess we'll find out. Houndish, did you see the Astacross video about the email received about Sony's perception of Bungie and its management? Yeah, I didn't see the video, but I did see a write-up about it. Pretty interesting stuff for sure. Obviously, it's hard to verify the sources for things like that, right? That's the first thing. I'd say as well that, like, a lot of the indications we've had and the bits of news that we've heard about what's going on between Sony and Bungie, they're probably along the same lines, right? There isn't necessarily anything especially new in that kind of reporting, I guess, but time will tell. That's going to be, I think, in terms of like seeing how Bungie do and how the Sony-Bungie relationship gets on. A lot of that we're gonna hear more about that after the final shape, I would anticipate. I mean, if final shape comes out and it's absolutely huge and the episodes are really successful, then we might not really hear a lot of conversation about it, right? But if things go the other way, then I'd imagine we're probably gonna hear more negative stuff. But we're hoping that that's not going to be the case. Houndish, pancakes or waffles? That is a difficult one. I've always been partial to a pancake. I'd say that's probably going to win for me. 8 times out of 10. Mood dependent, right? Rise of Iron Banner armor back. That would be cool for sure. Definitely. There is also an official, the official Bungie Twitch channel link down below, in case any of you guys get fed up of me talking. But I guess I'll probably, you know, let Bungie do most of the talking. We'll do a few little bits of reactions. And then, after their stream concludes, probably going to be an hour at most, I would imagine. But after that, I'll kind of get back into Destiny stuff, take a look at the patch today, and things like that. And we'll just see how the day pans out, I suppose. Less than a minute to go. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping we get that juicy trailer action or something at the start of this stream. It seems entirely possible. Looks like more is going into this than I perhaps initially would have expected, to be honest. But we shall see. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate you all. Waffle House has the best waffles. You would hope so, right? Man, you guys are making me hungry. Right, the time is now, apparently. Let's see what we get. Stream starting soon. I bet there are some nervous, deep breaths in the Bungie studio at this moment, where it's like, we're about to go live. We're going to do the thing. It's the servers. The stream is running on Destiny servers. Right, here we go. Blood, language, and violence.
All right. right. Hello, everyone, and welcome here to beautiful Bungie HQ in scenic Bellevue, Washington. My name's Andy, and I'm going to be your host today. And today we have the distinct opportunity to go ahead and show off some brand new stuff coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. But fret not, I won't be the only one going ahead and telling you about it. I'm joined by 3 members of the Destiny development team who we'll go ahead and introduce here right away. Starting directly to my left, Mr. Tom Farnsworth. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you, Andy. I am doing great. I had coffee, breakfast on the way here. I'm a little ready to go. Excited to share all the great work the team has done the past many months. And just for context about me, I'm the creative lead on Into the Light, and I'll be here with you the next few weeks to talk about it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff.
Tom Farnsworth is a good guy.
We're joined by senior narrative designer.
Had some interesting conversations about Destiny.
Doing great. Also had coffee.
Very passionate dude.
On the highway while screaming at passing cars.
Quite a drive in as well. And for the folks at home who may not know you as well as we've had the opportunity to learn about you over the past couple days, who are you and what do you do here at Bungie?
I am a senior narrative designer, which means if you hear a character say it, or if you read it on screen, one of us typed it into a tiny little box at some point months before.
Hanging out with Excel lots these days?
Absolutely.
There it is.
Tiny words, tiny boxes. That's me.
It's an important tool, obviously.
Absolutely.
And of course, last but very not least, one of the most deadly I've ever seen to rock the thumbsticks, especially in these past couple days, the one and only Mr. Noah Lee, activity designer here on Destiny 2.
Hey everyone, my name is Noah Lee. I'm an activity designer on Destiny 2 Into the Light. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing us to Onslaught so we can see all the really cool things that we have in store. I'm a longtime player. I've been playing since Destiny 1, and as a player turned dev, I'm excited to show off all the stuff we have planned. I'm just so excited to see what's
awesome. Well, hey, welcome. You guys, thank you so much for taking time to join us. To everyone in chat, I see a lot of activity in there as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today as well. But yes, today we're going to go ahead and kick things off by looking at Onslaught, which is a brand new activity coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week, we went ahead and released some key art last week that is now up on screen. You can see here. There's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what Onslaught is?
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new 3-player activity that's kind of the core of Into the Light. It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in this key art, like this is like a kind of aspirational view of what Onslaught is in game.
Yeah.
It's a new wave defense activity. It takes inspiration from a lot of modes we've looked at, like in other games and our games throughout our kind of history. And you can see here you're in the last city, and I'm really excited that our players are going to be able to, like, the Guardians are going to be able to hop into this space and defend the last city and eventually take the fight to the Witnesses' forces here. And you can kind of see you got our 3 Guardians. They're kind of ringed in defenses.
Yeah.
You also got like the pyramids in the sky.
Right, yeah.
And there's even some like kind of pyramid terraforming going on in the background
there. In the city itself too, yeah.
Yeah.
They are at our doorstep.
And there's a few other locations too, but maybe we'll talk about later.
Talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also too, Jerome.
Let me see if I can crank this real quick. Just double check my desktop.
But never quite like this before. Our heels are dug
there
in.
We go.
We're in the last city right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on here?
Absolutely. So for the past several seasons, the forces of the Witness have been closing their vice grip around the Sol system. The Witness is inside the Traveler doing nefarious deeds, enacting the final shape.
Right.
Time is on its side.
Yeah.
We have worked with ancient magics, esoteric rituals, bargaining with our old foes in order to send someone through the portal and establish a bridge, and we chose Crow.
Yeah.
Now, until he makes contact with us, we are back at home sharpening our knives.
Yeah.
Now, the Witness, of course, will do everything that it can to keep us on this side of the portal.
Understandable.
Which means unleashing every bit of its resources, every part of its power against us to keep us pinned in the last city. So this is about breaking out and discovering new power, right? Sharpening ourselves, finalizing our builds, and getting some new toys so that we can face down the Witness.
That's right. And we're also getting some help from a tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shax is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely. Where
Shaxy boy. That's always good news.
Yeah.
And he is going to be opening up his arsenal for us to enjoy. I think we'll hear about that next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Awesome. As someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, it's always good to spend more time with Shax. Inspirational, to say the least.
Absolutely, at high volume.
Yeah, honestly.
It's definitely
that's the best part of
a
him.
good thing that we
Just
got a
throw
new
more
game
grenades.
mode here as well.
Reminder to everyone.
That's something I didn't think we were going to see,
And
to
of
be
course,
honest.
No, there's a lot also too going on here. I see turrets, I see other activity defenses. Obviously, we're going to jump into some gameplay here, but before we do, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we dive in to play some Onslaught here live in just a bit?
Yeah, of course. So something that's really cool about Onslaught compared to a lot of our activities in Destiny is, like Tom said, it's not an offensive, it's a defensive. Our goal is to defend the ADU, or Advanced Defense Unit, which allows us to build our defenses like turrets, tripwires, decoys, and the main goal is to make sure that that thing stays up for all of your waves that you're fighting in.
Yeah.
And if that goes down at any point, regardless if you're on playlist, normal, or on legend difficulty, your game will end. So the main goal is to keep your defenses safe, build them up, upgrade them, and try to get as far as you can.
Yeah, legend difficulty. Interesting. Already dropping some hints. I like what I'm hearing.
You know, I had to do it. And another thing, just really quickly, is we had a lot of learnings from some of our activities in the seasons, like deep dives and the coil, where we know players like when we escalate difficulty over time. So that's a key feature of Onslaught. You go from wave 1 to wave 50, each 10 escalating in difficulty, as we're going to see in gameplay. And that serves a really cool opportunity for players to test their builds and, you know, the waves of enemies that we're fighting against are the whetstone by which we are sharpening ourselves.
Excellent. Yes, build crafters, you're on notice. Be prepared for what's to come.
Cool. So actual horde mode of sorts, right? That sounds pretty cool.
The throne world.
Noah, would you mind returning to your throne world briefly to
Let's
go ahead
see
and
the
kick things off
thing.
here?
My tithes.
Obviously, yeah, we got to get some tithes for the man himself. In the meantime, really quickly, obviously with Onslaught being a brand new activity, we're going to kick things off in a very different way. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we go ahead and start things off?
Yeah, you're going to see it in the gameplay here in just a second, but Onslaught is about kind of establishing a defensive kind of like beachhead in these contested territories where we're like trying to, you know, claw space back from the witness.
Certainly.
And we're going to see it in Midtown here in a moment. And so players, you know, start off with you and 2 other maybe friends you found that you play with all the time, or maybe you match make you in with, and you're going to push forwards with Shax's Red Jacks that you're going to see here. You'll establish a defensive area, you'll deploy the Advanced Defense Unit, and then you'll start placing defenses.
Yeah.
As Noah said, there's turrets, there's trip mines, there's decoys. The decoys is our favorite little sweepy bot.
Right, yep.
And
back to help once again.
And you can upgrade those too. Like the way the activity works is you defeat enemies to collect scrap, which is our currency, and then you can spend that to deploy these defenses. And you're gonna have to be kind of selective. Like each of these defensive locations can move around throughout the activity.
Right. Yeah.
And here we go.
Awesome.
We already got some
gameplay
action here.
Yes.
This sounds kind of cool.
We're over here trying to create a foothold for our ADU, supported by Shax's lovely Red Jacks. You know, we know and love them. And as soon as we've cleared out the Elixni that are here, or the Fallen, our ADU's here. As we see, we got some batteries in tow, and this begins our first really interesting part of this activity, which is our purchase phase. Killing enemies will grant you scrap, like we see in the top left, and we have 30 seconds to pick one of a suite of upgrades. We have tripwires that you can buy for 1,000, decoy, which is our lovely sweeper bot here, and turrets. I know people are very curious about turrets, so I'm just going to buy this first.
There we go.
But we have our lovely guests, Clayton and Ashley, who have helped create this activity in our playtest team. They're with me, helping fill out the fire team, and they're building their defenses.
It's always best to have some solid teammates. And also, for the folks in chat noticing some weapons, go ahead and just observe everything you can possibly see on screen. Oh, it's okay. We're going to have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens. But in the meantime, chat is...
I was making notes. I hardly even noticed the Midnight Coup right there. So confirmed.
We're here obviously going ahead and doing this for a reason, right? The ADU is here for a purpose. Can you help us understand a little bit about the role that plays in the defense that we're mounting against the Witness?
Absolutely. When all of the Guardians and their allies enter the portal to face down the Witness, Earth will be essentially undefended.
Yeah.
So it's important that we establish solid defenses now and claw back as much territory as we can in advance of our assault. I also want to just point out, I know we're not going to be able to look at it, and we'll see the weapons next week, but we've got some beautiful new lore on those weapons, and so any of those lore hounds, make sure you
that was a new, was that a new hung jury as well that dropped there? An updated looking one?
Arsenal, as it will be known. Players will get a chance to go ahead and be more intrinsically involved with this. We'll have more information on that in the coming weeks, but yeah, for those out there that are observing maybe some previous Guardian favorite weapons out there, worry not. You'll have lots of information to learn over the next coming weeks.
So yeah, I want to kind of get started on kind of what players have been seeing since we've been talking about productivity as a whole. As we're able to see, like, the ADU has a health over its head right here, and we have enemies in waves coming to try to defeat it. If you've been paying attention, we have high-value targets that are mini-bosses or elites called saboteurs, which drop these repair batteries. And for other attempted players, we can see that there are champions involved. So, you know, bring your champion weapons. Make sure that you are well equipped for this. We have different waves and different augments like we're seeing on Wave 3 that demand your immediate attention. We know Destiny players like to run and gun, so we try to get you out of the space of the ADU sometimes so that you can kind of do those objectives to make sure that, oh yeah, I can explore Midtown and all these other spaces when we have the other maps that you see.
Crucible enjoyers know this space pretty well. It'll be a chance for everyone to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, actually, no, thank you, Noah, for checking that out. Obviously, the pyramids have been busy in here helping to go ahead and mount this offensive.
Yeah, I think they have an eye for decoration.
Yeah, honestly, they're doing a great job. I got to give them credit. They keep it consistent. But Jerome, these are pyramid ships in our own backyard that are going to go ahead and just try and terraform the city. Or can you help us learn what's going on here?
Well, they don't have to do anything. I mean, the Witness is doing what it wants to do, and if we don't stop it, then it's game over. So they really just need to keep us pinned. The Witness is inevitable. There's no way we could defeat every one of the Witness's soldiers. There's no way we could, you know, fight them one by one.
We'll try.
We have to deal with the Witness head on inside the Traveler. And we'll do that soon.
So also, too, you know, obviously getting to go ahead and send players away from the ADU is pretty significant when it comes to accomplishing all of the tasks in front of you here in Onslaught. But Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the defenses as well? Like, I think we see some trip mines up already set and ready to go.
Yeah, you can see the horizontal beams. Those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
trip mines get more charges. And they get more in size. If you upgrade it, you'll go from 1 trip mine to 2, as we see here, which is really nice. I'm gonna keep going.
And then we've also got the turrets. Noah, if you could show off a turret in a second.
Oh yeah.
Right those as well. When you can upgrade those three levels as well, they change color. They deal more damage. They get more health.
The fire rate increases actually also.
Yep. And then we've also got Sweepy Bot, who also those decoys mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. But the idea here is, like, each of these defensive locations, we're going to kind of randomly pick defenses for you to deploy, and it's up to you kind of to make the best choices and use your limited resources, the scrap that you're collecting, to make the best choices there, because you're not going to have all the currency you need right off the bat to, like, you know, of course, deploy everything and upgrade everything. You're going to have to be like, no, maybe we want this turret, or maybe it seems like enemies are coming more from this direction. Maybe we should have these trip mines.
Right, yeah. Let's focus our attention and abilities maybe in a different direction. Let the trip mines and turrets do some work in a different direction.
Something I want to bring up is we actually have a bonus objective going on right now. We have secondary objectives that occasionally appear in waves, and this one is just to complete the wave within a certain amount of time. And if you complete that while you're defending the ADU, you got to make sure that's alive. You'll actually get a reward, which is a heavy ammo crate that will refill your ammo. When you get higher up in the waves and you get more difficult enemies and like larger waves of stuff, like that is definitely something you're going to be trying to get. And that kind of ties into the team coordination you can do. Like, if you have a good team in the higher difficulties, you're going to need a little bit more coordination. You might need somebody to go out and do the augments and somebody to go out and do the critical objectives.
Yeah, and also, too, so just to make sure, Tom, as well, this isn't the only ADU we're going to be defending in this activity. It moves around the map.
So, as Noah said earlier, there's 50 waves in our challenge version of this activity. There's the playlist version, which is just one location. It's easy, quick, fun to hop into. You do 10 waves and you're done. And then there's the challenge version, which we're showing here. So there's
oh, that's cool. So the map actually like changes. That looks pretty dope.
Is how we like to talk about it. And with each of those sets of ways, we move around the map between 3 different locations.
Got it.
And so you'll start at one ADU, you'll defend it, you'll take the fight to the Witness for a little bit, you'll come back, and then you'll build up defenses more, and then go fight a boss.
Which is what we're seeing as well right now. Like, we're on board a pyramid ship now, right?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite phases. Where instead of defending the ADU, we take the fight to them. And as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's time to run it down, destroy the Witness's lieutenants, and, you know, do a fun backflip. Let's hope I can pull that off.
Do the backflip.
It's important. If you don't do the backflip,
so you get the rift.
Very upset.
The rift dunk.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go.
Boom.
You make it look so easy, Noah.
Because I'm just good.
He is good. He's doing pretty well. I'm not gonna
We're also on the first set.
This is a bit of a mashup of like a few different things Bungie have done, right? I think it looks pretty fun, to be honest. It looks cool.
Because you were saying too, there's a 10
Slightly different like idea to other like seasonal activities we've had. I don't mind it being on PvP maps either, personally.
That's definitely the place for you. Onslaught, in our experience from playtesting, is really easy to lose track of time and just kind of keep going. You can always be like, just one more wave, a few more sets, and then you're like, dang, it's been an hour. Like, it's actually crazy.
Noah, I got a question, if you don't mind. How do you decide whether to unlock new defenses or upgrade the ones you've already got?
So it really is a risk-reward thing. As we're seeing, like, when you upgrade defenses, they will exponentially increase in price, which means that you have to make a decision every purchase phase, like, do I want to save my money to potentially upgrade something down the line and also hope that that defense, lives long enough to be upgraded? Or am I just going to bite the bullet and buy something now that can help me immediately? My strategy usually is that in the first few waves, I will not buy anything to like just save up for later, and usually my teammates will do something.
Yeah.
That's where communication comes in. If you just do that by yourself, I don't think your teammates will be very happy with you.
It's fair. As always, keeping the comms crisp is very important, especially as you get those higher difficulty levels. Because we're just in the kind of the fledgling waves of this right now. But yeah, when we were doing our playtest yesterday, things got crazy in a hurry. I hope we get to see some more of the craziness we saw yesterday, but I don't want to spoil anything for chat. Obviously, there's plenty to be discovered in this.
Something I neglected to mention, which we've been doing this whole time, is the ADU batteries will actually heal it, kind of similar to like Forges in the Black Armory from my real vets out there. And the ADU, the enemies are naturally compelled to come over here and like attack it. They'll shoot it, they'll knife at it. But also, if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to try to keep it as healthy as possible because you might be able to snowball your defenses.
Interesting. So especially if you're really pushing for those later levels and like the 40s and 50s, maybe it just behooves you to hold on. For the levels 50s, or so, let your abilities and weapons do the talking for a little bit.
50s are no joke. Oh my God.
There we go. We got one of the bigger mobs on the
Where
way.
did that dude turn up from?
Augments, just demolitionists. We get these huge ultras that come in and just they're beeline for the ADU.
Yeah.
Since we're on the first wave, they're not that difficult, but I promise you, wave 40, wave 50, these guys are tanky. They require a lot of attention. And
give you some credit in making it look easy as well.
I like I said, I'm just that guy.
He's been preparing for this moment. Also, too, actually, let's talk a little bit of build crafting. What are you running right now, Noah?
So I'm not treading new ground here. I'm a Night Stalker by heart. I got my Gerfalcons on. We actually, off screen, we're figuring out how it's pronounced. But Gerfalcons, everyone, so anyone who mispronounces it, that's how you say it. Doing that, I love Buried Bloodline. It's a great weapon from Warlord's Ruin. I love the Catalyst. And, I'm just doing that because we might see some Tormentors, who knows? And I like precision when we're doing that because, rockets aren't very effective against
See, over the past day or so, as we've been getting prepared for the stream, I'll admit my jealousy for Buried Bloodline has only been growing. I'm a big fan of Graviton Lance. We get along very well. But I got to say, the precision that you've been getting out of Buried Bloodline makes me upset that I haven't just gone ahead and buckled down and gotten the farming done to get that thing unlocked, honestly.
Yeah, great. So as we see, we are actually in the pyramid again for the boss. We're taking the fight
that response, yeah, great.
And this brings up a really interesting part of
that was random.
Of the boss phases, where instead of having immune shields or immune phases, we have different augmentations.
Bloodline is way better than most people think, though.
Your effectiveness
I believe this.
So, for example, this one is augmentation well. If you stand in these wells and defeat high-value targets, you will actually deal increased damage to the boss for the rest of the fight. That's something, because these are meant to be kind of like victory laps. Like, you've survived against the ADU, it is time to just single-mindedly take down the boss.
Yeah. Interesting. Also, too, actually, really quickly, Tom, so I know we touched on there being 10 and 50 wave versions, but we got a question in chat from Tyrkanator. Is it random matchmaking? Do you get to bring your own fire team in? Both?
So playlist is random matchmaking, or you can bring your fire team in.
Yeah.
And then I believe the challenge modes, of which there was a normal version and like a hard version, which goes up to GM. I believe that the normal version is match made. We can correct on socials maybe for the second one. I don't think it's match made, but I think everything supports Fireteam Fighter.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, obviously. And honestly, too, it never hurts to bring in your own GM crew if you're pushing 50 waves.
No, we definitely want you to communicate in that activity on the upper end, especially. You're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, honestly. Also, too, actually, while we're kind of on that subject, I remember something you mentioned earlier was, kind of one of the goals, I think, from a design standpoint you were mentioning was that it's kind of just easy to get lost in this activity. The combat sandbox that Destiny has, sometimes you just want to throw down and just test new builds, go crazy, and this is something that really seems to facilitate that.
You might even feel it on the stream here as we're going to go deeper and deeper here. Like we've defeated the first set now. We're on the second set. We're at a new defensive location you can see here. That's near the river walk in here, and
we're to break the fourth wall. We're developers, so we were able to change it to our other faction. It's not always going to be Fallen. We have the Hive that were shown prominently in our poster art.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for the more keen eyes at home, they may have noticed that behind the scenes, the faction has changed. So when Jerome mentioned it earlier, every single one of the armies at the Witness's behest is going to go ahead and be a part of this fight potentially. Or which ones are they, rather? Or if you don't mind me asking, I should say, Jerome. This is your...
Yeah, we've got Fallen and Hive are going to be pressing the last city, but the Taken are definitely active elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're sort of they're being marshaled for other purposes, which I won't.
Other elements of the seasonal story are yet to be revealed. We'll let that obviously uncover itself as time goes on naturally. Yeah, there's plenty for the lore hounds out there to go ahead and discover. Jerome, when you're putting together a story like this, obviously kind of helping us realize what the Witness's mission is. What was kind of some of your inspiration as you kind of looked at this activity and the opportunity it presented to the narrative team?
We always start with the characters. Like the emotions of the characters, from their perspective, how they would see things, how they would react.
Certainly.
And so that's what made Shaxx a natural fit for this. It's such a gear-focused activity. It's so ferocious. We needed a voice that matched that level of intensity.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came up with Shaxx.
Yeah, Shaxx is like the perfect hype man for this, right?
It's so great when you get later in the rounds and he just kind of makes you feel like you can keep going.
I mean, that's his goal, right? The Crucible is not a forgiving place, and he's there bringing folks in every single day that he possibly can. So
he's been preparing us for this. That's what the Crucible is for.
No, and that's a great way to look at this. The Crucible is preparing, fighting other Guardians to sharpen ourselves to fight a war. And this is just fighting a war.
Yeah, honestly, this is what we've been sharpening ourselves for. This is that moment. Also, too, kind of in that theme, we got a question from Cozy Spartan in chat. Are there any other weapons that are coming back? As a quick reminder, this is the first of actually three streams as well. So next week we're going to be talking about that. So make sure and mark your calendar and tune in then. Today, this is just a taste of Onslaught and kind of a first look at what's to come in the brand new activity. Joining us with Destiny 2 Into the Light.
I'm out of money. I'm broke. No.
All out of scrap already?
Yes. I bought one thing. I suppose I spent it all on these two turrets, which have been performing pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
I'm a person, I prefer to upgrade a few things because their effectiveness is much more heightened when you upgrade it. So I feel like if you all pool your resources to make a few traps really good, that might serve you well, but who knows? I know when you do legendary.
That's going to be the interesting component in a mode like this, I guess, is kind of figuring out the strategy, the way to spend that currency, right?
Yeah. All right, so we've touched
definitely going to be a
three
bunch of
different
guides about this, I think.
Between the turrets, the trip mines, and obviously the decoy sweet bot. And those are upgradable, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Correct. Cool. How far do those go up? Like what level? It'll be three? Awesome. And as I understand it, too, there's a pretty steep progression as they go ahead and continue leveling up. That scrap really ends up being worth it.
They become more expensive, but yeah, they also it's not like a linear progression. It's more logarithmic. They kind of jump up in power.
Yeah.
But you got to keep them safe, too, right? The enemies, you might get an augmentation where, one of those big knights or big fallen captains comes in and just smashes them.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to try to keep the space clear.
Yeah. A brig drops in from low orbit and just smashes it into bits.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen. Who knows?
Now, in that instance, if one of your defenses is destroyed, do you repurchase it at level 1?
Yes,
you have to
lose that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's one of the things you have to watch out for with trip mines. Like I said, they have charges, and they will just, they will go out on their own. But that's why they're so cheap. You're going to have to rebuy them once you run out of charges.
Yeah, and also I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is scrap individual or is it fire team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the fire team earns scrap together, but you each get to spend individually.
Oh, cool.
So you can't mess up your fire team mates by like overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet, purse of scrap to spend. So you can coordinate if you want, or you could just spend how you see fit to help the team.
Yeah.
In general, like anything you purchase is going to help.
Yeah, as someone too, like in the past, I've played, personally, like a lot of wave-based defense games. There we go. When it comes to the upgrades, I imagine, like you were saying, it's pretty logarithmic. Is there a feeling of wanting to, instead of getting, 3 level 1 turrets, get 1 level 3 turret, for example? Like, is that power gain kind of the one you want to be chasing if you're pushing those higher levels?
I think it's definitely valuable to do that as long as you can keep it safe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it might be better to spread out the
that's true.
the damage, but like a lot of that's going to vary, like what augments or which enemies are coming in.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to control that. You're just going to have to react. Like it might be.
Yeah.
This might be an easy wave of just some thrall.
Yeah.
But it could be a bunch of exploder shanks too.
Yeah.
We made sure
Tom,
to
who
do
would put a bunch of
diversity.
exploder shanks into a wave? Who on Earth would possibly be responsible for that?
You can blame Noah. You can blame me for drop pods. You can blame Noah.
I've done a lot.
Everyone who spoke to their therapist about Cabal drop
coil,
pods, you go ahead and charge that directly to Tom. You can follow him on Twitter right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Noah, Jerome, out of curiosity too, when it comes to kind of the seasonal story and where this fits in. So again, we're digging our heels in, fighting against the Witness, just sharpening ourselves. The next step pretty much is just to go ahead and hold out for as long as we can in preparation for that next battle, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. We're waiting for Crow to essentially build a bridge in concert with Morro, with help from Osiris and others. And so it's really the universe is on Crow's shoulders.
Yeah.
And we couldn't imagine anyone better suited for the task.
Yeah.
Crow has come a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves an opportunity to show what he can do.
Yeah.
And I think he'll come through for us.
Still has uttered one of my favorite lines. Yeah, we went ahead and chased him into the astral plane. Well, I just shot at him until he ran away, but your way's better. He's earned his spot. He's ready to go, obviously. All right, Noah, where are we at? What are we looking at right now?
So right now we're looking at one of our waves. Like I was trying to say earlier, we actually have a wide diversity of waves. Like as we've seen with the Hive and the Fallen, that it's not just fighting acolytes and thralls every time. We have different compositions. So this is a wave full of exclusively ogres and cursed thrall. Cursed thrall are nice because it allows you to chunk the ogres if they're grouped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're cursed thralls, and as we see, they are just booking it straight toward the ADU.
These ogres seem very dedicated to their task out of the gate, honestly. It seems like within a millisecond, they're just lighting up anything they can possibly see.
Yeah, I think they're really dedicated to the Witness, and I think they're also kind of stupid. So they're just doing what they know.
I'm not brave enough to say that to an ogre's face, but I respect you for being able to do so.
So we're seeing another bonus objective here, actually, which is there are going to be pyramid splinters that spawn. That's a great. Now, where are they?
I think there's one up behind you, Noah.
Oh, right here. Look at that. And then if you keep following it, it kind of leads you away from the space, and can't find my distance.
There we go.
We're able to get.
So it kind of leads you to the champions, I guess. Interesting.
So there's tension, right? When those splinters lead you away from the ADU, right? You need to kind of have split your attention in two directions.
Yeah, that's the thing that we were really wanting to index on. So for these critical, not critical objectives, for these augments, they kind of incentivize players to like leave the ADU and kind of have roles. As we see, we got splinter mines, and you have guards that are guarding them. We have Clayton and Ashley doing that for me while I defend the ADU, and that kind of means that you have less people defending. Like the wave is still coming towards you, but there's things you have to do, and those distractions, which aren't really optional, are kind of what gives you that tension and kind of allows for interesting build crafting decisions. Like that's something I kind of wanted to go into, something that excites me as somebody who's kind of seen how our seasonal meta kind of develops with things like Strand Titan and Solar over and over.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if interesting things come out of like Onslaught. You're not trying to stay alive yourself. You're trying to keep this ADU alive, which is a object completely separate from you. So like is stasis going to be more useful? We're seeing Ashley use Arc. She's using Arc Souls, which has proven to be really useful against the Fallen. Like is Risk Runner going to be something people want to use? Or Trinity Ghoul or Sunshot? Oh,
we're gonna forget that happened. That's fine.
yeah.
So also too,
Every man for
when it
themselves.
comes to the build crafting element, I can probably imagine when you're doing the GM difficulties, like it's not just your own build you're worried about, but making sure you have that communication across to your team, across champion mods, across element types. Like there's probably a whole heck of a lot to actually make sure you're keeping track of throughout this entire activity.
There's a lot going on in the activity from a moment perspective. We have
Yeah, guys, just to clarify, the aim of this stream is obviously to focus on this new game mode called Onslaught. Oh, they got a boss now. That's interesting. I guess one of the things about this is it's like it's one of those gameplay loops that like the easy levels will get boring really easily, I guess. Whereas the difficult levels could actually make it like a fairly intense game mode. And if the rewards are there, there's that potential, right? That part of it could be pretty juicy, but I guess like one of the concerns is the middle part, right? Where you're kind of like, you're just farming through rounds to get to that place where the gameplay sort of evolves a little bit potentially.
And just overall kind of help, like, these are level 3 turrets, you know, you see them in blue, they're looking really nice and spiffy.
Yeah. And again, you were saying at level 3, the fire rate also increases?
Yes, fire rate, health, and damage increases for
bad to
them.
have.
But they cost 6,000 scraps, so you're going to need to save up a lot.
Okay.
I think it's
GM difficulty, yeah. That, like, a GM difficulty of this would be really, really intense. There's some interesting elements there, like... This is more of a game mode than I thought we were going to get for free from Bungie, if I'm honest. Like, whether that's satisfying for the majority of players is a different conversation, as you guys all know. But
yesterday we learned that Noah is one of the most dangerous to ever wield the 2 thumbsticks out there. To all the PvP streamers as well, go ahead and challenge him openly on the internet.
Hey, I go flawless, you know, check my KD.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were the gilded one.
Well, I don't want to brag, but as a 4 times gilded flawless, I mean, I'll let you guys brag for that.
Wow. Hey, I'm gonna brag too. I got Riven's Bane back in Forsaken. Petrol's run, that was tough. You know, all my Riven's Banes out there, we know what's up. Oh. And Shadows. Yeah. Y'all got it.
There's a chapter of everyone's dream journal dedicated to that particular time in their lives, obviously. Drop the Bungie ID, they're saying. Perhaps I'll leave that up to him. That is his...
I was not paying enough attention then. Did they collect that loot or no?
Noah is ready, honestly.
I was hoping to see something juicy, man. Blast Furnace.
So
Do
new
it.
ADU, new location?
Yep. Yes. Well, that's something I neglected to mention. So every time you do a boss, you will actually change locations. And let me just buy something real quick because I have money. But the defenses you picked, like that you placed before in your previous locations, those will still be active. So that means that you building up your defenses over time. You obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on, but they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves.
I kind of like that.
The turret right there.
Like if you defend the defenses and keep them up, they'll stay in that position on the map. So
the last city, like,
if you find yourself back there,
these emplacements are permanent and not
you get a little boost, maybe.
Really, really digging the trenches and setting yourself in. Okay, again, we'll put that on the list of things that chat didn't see. We get a veto. That's the one that everyone gets to forget. Sorry, chat, but that didn't just happen.
Everyone makes mistakes, man.
Also, too, actually, JR Bizzle in chat asks, are the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get too? Now, I know Noah kind of mentioned this a little bit when he was referencing the coil earlier, but you know, obviously, there's between the level 10, or pardon me, the 10 wave and the 50 wave versions. You know, what's the reward story for each one?
So in all the activities, every time you beat 10 waves and you beat the boss, you'll get a chest.
Okay.
Get rewards.
So every 10 waves,
yep.
You get, okay.
And then in the challenge mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal version, you get a normal chest all the way until the last wave. You can beat the final wave.
Yeah.
You'll get double rewards.
Oh, okay.
And then if you play the hard mode,
yeah.
you get additional rewards in all the waves.
Excellent. Okay.
And so like, there's some little surprises there too we might have along the way at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Excellent. Yeah, for the ones that are really going to go ahead and try it a few times out, maybe there's an additional variable thrown in there from time to time. Excellent. Yeah. Also, too, actually, Kurt Jones 29 asks, how do revives work in this activity, both between normal and legend?
So that's actually a great question. As we see now, there is not. Oh my good lord! Wait, give me a second. Give me a second.
What a great time to think critically. The tormentor on your doorstep.
I can answer that for Noah. Noah, take down the tormentor. The way that revives work is like in the first 2 sets.
Yeah.
Darkness is off, but when we get to the 3rd set, we turn darkness on.
And
so
extinguish.
if you all go down, or the ADU goes down, the activity's over.
That's it. Okay. So you just take the rewards you got for the 2
And in
bosses
Legend,
you got?
that's on by default.
Yeah, you don't lose any rewards. Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're halfway through a set and you fail, that's it.
That's it. Just take your lunchbox and go home.
Yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist. Or
That's
hop right back in with your friends and try again.
Which is what I'm gonna do, frankly. Honestly, like when this was getting developed behind the scenes here, and we were kind of getting a sense of what Into the Light was gonna be. I gotta tell you, like just the I don't know, the ability to just go ahead and keep diving back in, testing new builds. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has every single one of their loadout slots filled with some hyper-specific loadout that I'm deeply in love with in its own way. And so I feel like this is the exact right time to go ahead and just continue diving in and just, bolstering those loadouts to begin with the Brave Arsenal, which again, we'll be talking about next week, don't you worry. But also too, is just get a chance to go ahead and really see how they can thrive in environments just outside of, even as difficult as GMs can be. Find something that really pushes it beyond that standard level that we're used to.
Yeah, and you're going to need to be ready for a lot. We're trying to throw a lot of variety at you, right? Those are 2 combatant factions that you're going to be facing, and the Fallen Hive that can randomly be in there when you start the mission. There's the multiple defensive locations, and there's like the progression of the waves. There's augments. All these things are kind of working together in concert to like test your ability to coordinate as a team and in your build game too.
Excellent. Also too, actually, Optimal Pickle in chat, wonderful name, I might add, is also curious. I know we just talked about scrap gathering, obviously, and how everyone kind of gets their own purse. Are you able to gift that scrap to other people, or you just get your own purse as a result of
You just get your own
Gift
purse.
the scrap, but you can both, like if someone places something else, you could upgrade it.
Oh, okay.
You can coordinate.
Got it.
Your spend.
They can drop the level 2, you can upgrade, or they can drop the level 1, you can upgrade it to level 2. Nice. Very good. All right, that communication is going to be...
we wanted to keep it simple and fast. Like we didn't want to have, we did a lot of work to make sure it was as streamlined as it could be, because currency can get complicated if you're not careful about it.
In the heat of battle, honestly, it's like a sweeper bot,
Nobody
whatever.
wants to open their wallet and be like, you got a 5?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Can you break 3,000 scrap?
I'm getting shot here.
That's right. Just a little bit, it's okay. Yeah, Ghost will help you out with that. Let's see.
We're getting up there in the waves, and they're getting a little bit more beefy.
Yeah, you guys are murdering your way through. This is going great.
Another thing I really appreciate about Onslaught, other than like the fact you get lost in it, is like this is just going to be a great place to go. And just like if you want to do bounties, if you want to do triumphs, you've got things you want to level up, catalysts, like just like hop in Onslaught and chill. And you'll be able to really tear through a lot of enemies and like.
So he's officially saying, don't try and get to level 40 or 50 with randoms, because they are probably doing bounties. Right? Is that what I just heard? Something like that?
Some waves are really like hard, and other waves like if you've got a bunch of guys coming down a hallway, and unload your supers, unload your ammo.
I'm kind of curious to actually play through this. That's like, that's a big component of it. I think like another issue with this, like just looking at it, is that it's not the most watchable of content, right? Necessarily. I think that's a component of it as well. Which isn't me sticking up for the mode, because I've never played the mode, so I'm not gonna do that. But I don't think it's like a great mode necessarily to watch, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Just Andy, and I hide amongst the field of other.
Also, how many waves are these guys actually gonna get?
If you see the one with the dead man,
I think by the time they get up to like 30, 35, I think they're gonna run into some trouble. That's my guess.
Video game ever, honestly. It's really, really good. Though then again, we get along pretty darn well. Okay, so we're back on the pyramid ship.
Yes, also every 6 waves, actually, you're gonna...
6,
on the 6th wave of each thing, so 6, 16, 26, 36, etc.
Okay.
You will take the fight to the witness and have a cool little encounter that's, it feels like an action movie. You and your team get to run down against waves of combatants, in this hallway, and then there's an invincible warden at the end, and the only way to dispatch him and move on is you have to dunk in the room.
Palate cleanser.
Oh, and he pushed me.
Little breather.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the waves.
Also, too, actually, Jerome, from a lore standpoint, from a mechanic standpoint, obviously this helps, make sure that we're pushing forward in the activity and we've got an appropriate challenge. But why are the Guardians able to go ahead and even head back into these pyramid ships to go ahead?
It took us a long time to gain that power.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of permeable. It can go both ways, right?
Yeah.
The Witnesses' forces are much more able to access our space, as we can see, right? They're in the middle of Midtown. But we are also able to access their space more.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak.
They opened that door. Now they can't take it back.
That's right.
The Guardians are going to be in there emoting and meddling and having a grand old time. See? There we go. Let's go ahead and flex your raid emotes. It's all right. Let's get it out of the way. I say that bitterly jealous because I don't have any of them. Took to wave 27 now. All right.
Ooh. Oh my lord.
Yeah, this is starting to get spicy out here.
All right. Let's lock in, guys.
Sorry, we're just making it more theatrical.
Yeah, we totally aren't trying at all. It's super easy.
I just know I'm gonna turn a corner and there's gonna be the cursed thrall like right there. You see it.
Oh. All right.
Uh-oh.
I got
Bungie broke the stream.
All tab.
All tapped? Okay, all right.
Technical
It
difficulties.
lives again.
Oh, I got all tabbed again.
I was like, as
Does
it
that build
turns
your
out,
scene
yep,
behind
everyone.
the screen?
I thought that was
too,
like,
just for
it was
everyone's
just
awareness too,
over then.
We're here live in the dev environment, so what you're seeing is obviously a quick peek behind the scenes. But yeah, we're obviously working off of a dev build right now.
Nice.
Tribute
And
of
the future
bravery.
hopefully unthralls.
Interesting.
My favorite is the like quick draw gunslinger one.
Yeah.
Hunter, I actually just bought it. I was like, I needed it.
Yeah,
solar
you had
one
to
that kinda
adjust
just-
his,
yeah, twirl
his
around his
cheat
finger? Oh,
menu.
yeah.
I was like, I need that, so I'll give up anything.
I got it I think it was it Guardian Games last year where you got the chair to go ahead and just send them flying at 1,000 miles an hour.
It's hard to beat the
Never
chair.
gets old. Yeah, absolutely never gets old.
It looks like Ashley and Clayton are just carrying me right now. They're going crazy.
I mean, it is their job to be good at
I mean,
that.
they've been
crushing
doing this
it,
for
yeah.
months. I mean, they don't really have the technically the world's first, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the
That's right, yeah. In our hearts.
no, it really that's going to be for players, right? We want
Yeah, certainly.
all of you to be able to hop in this again. Yeah, this is available for all players.
Yeah.
which is also really exciting. It's kind of like a big gift from all of us here
My
at Bungie
God.
to all of you out there, all of our guardians, our community.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you. We're excited to be able to get you all buffed to take on the witness.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh.
It's not going to be easy, obviously. Just another
You have to work.
opportunity to equip everyone,
Yeah.
obviously.
Something I wanted to mention, just to like get a little peek behind the curtain when it comes to our friend Sweeperbot here, is he used to be the best decoy in the game, like better than all his other tiered variants, because there was a bug where only the broom would take any damage, and as we see, he's really skinny, so he was like basically nigh untouchable.
Functionally immortal sweeper bot.
Oh my God.
Must be nice, obviously, just to have your Horcrux or whatever it is, right? But it's just his broom this time, as it would turn out.
We fixed it though.
Yeah, it's fair. All right.
Yeah.
It'll live on, again, another thing that lives on strictly in our hearts.
Yes.
Also, too, out of curiosity, Vadar477 in chat asks, will there be, like, if you have just 2 people on your fire team and you want to go in solo, is there a private mode you can dive into this with?
I believe that you have in the higher difficulties you can do
Yeah.
that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So everyone out there that wants to really challenge themselves, maybe attempt to solo all 50 waves? Yeah. I think our running theory is that it's impossible.
I think it's not possible. That's my charge to the community. Can you beat Legend solo by your, like, obviously that's what solo means, but can you beat Legend
Thinks
solo?
it's not possible,
If my
so
teammate on
that
social
probably
media
means it
pictures
might
out
take
watching
Esoteric
while on
more
vacation, so
than
don't you dare
15
be working.
minutes,
I think he's got
but
that challenge.
probably not more than 20
Not
minutes,
to underestimate
right?
the Destiny community at all. Especially like in Mission Whetstone, I thought it would take a lot longer for people to
Yeah.
do that. That was quick.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, honestly,
Players
we
are good.
underestimate the Guardians, much as the same as the Witness, at our own peril. So obviously, none of us want to do that. If anything, I'm just excited to go ahead and see this get in players' hands on April 9th.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to see like what strategies people come up with. As we see, we have another augment here where you are killing Spark Hoarders to spawn a Spark, and when you dunk the Rift, it actually does a chunk of damage to the boss, which if you're looking at the health bar at the bottom, you'll see it does a decent amount. So when you get to bosses that are a little chunkier, these
Yeah.
are ways to do extra damage to them.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay.
Great.
Not too shabby. I am also, I'll say it again, I'm so bitterly jealous I don't have Buried Bloodline right now. Like, you're making it look so good.
I was gonna have to carry you.
It's good. It's a good gun, especially if you're on other subclasses. It's just free Devour. Plus the Catalyst, you get Devour and Weaken pretty much on demand by using it.
It's also, too, maybe a small thing, but my personal favorite, just if I had to pick a champion mod, and I know it doesn't work like that, but I do have to give credit to Anti-Barrier, because it's every single barrier. It doesn't matter if it's a Hive Knight shield, doesn't matter if a Taken Vandal goes ahead and puts their shield up, or if a Hobgoblin goes ahead and cloisters up. Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep shooting you right in the face. This is not how
God.
this works for you.
Okay. No!
What?
Oh, is that a wipe?
We're at a stream veto moments, obviously.
Oh, no, it's not a
no,
wipe.
No, it didn't
sorry,
happen.
but this shame you have to live with.
That didn't happen.
Are you sure
Yeah.
you want to hand out your Bungie ID still?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Not a proper
all
one.
right.
I don't back down.
I'll leave it to you on Twitter. That's fine.
I'll get cooked. It's fine.
Again, at our own peril, we underestimate. So is this the final boss encounter in the pyramid for this particular wave?
Yes, for this particular wave. I think we're on wave 30.
Yes.
Which means we're on our last wave, which is take the fight to the boss again.
So it's definitely a little bit beefier than the last 2 bosses.
Yeah.
But we're going to
victory
dunk
lap.
and kill it in one shot.
Here we go.
Oh.
There we go.
So and also too is that dunking mechanic that does extra damage to the boss. That's just is that like a modifier that kind of gets randomly added with each particular boss?
That's one of those augments, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's no guarantee you're
Is
gonna
that
get
Hung
one
Jory
necessarily.
again?
Nope. Even better. Excellent.
So that's gonna be a thing, obviously.
Guys, let's do the
Updated, I guess.
All right, let's keep running more waves. Also, too, actually, I saw a question pop up in chat. Again, I apologize. I missed the name. Twitch chat is moving fast, but thank you to all you Guardians for joining us. Is there any kind of a timer present in this activity, or do you just get to dive in and take your time?
The only timer is actually present in the purchase phase. We want to kind of keep that fast-paced flow going.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we just have the timer ticking up to see how long your session has been. But yeah, there's no timer. We're not counting down like 10 minutes to beat a whole wave or something.
The only real fail condition is the fire team alive and is ADU still standing.
Got it. Okay. And again, once the ADU is gone, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. You lose on wave 1 somehow. That's it.
Generally, we want to be pretty clear about our failure conditions. We don't want to stack.
Yeah.
A bunch of like oh, you have to do.
That's fair. There's like a and B and a C, nothing like that. Okay. And again, you're only defending its one ADU that kind of will transition.
Only the current ADU. It will move with you.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. Also, to chat, I see you asking for information on the loot to show us what weapons are on the way. Tune in next week. We'll have plenty for you. I can promise you that.
Yeah, Shaxx is, if you go into the lore, Shaxx is working with some folks, some characters from the past.
That's right, yeah.
And also opening up his private reserve for our use.
Yeah.
So
is this something Shaxx has been sitting on for a while, or has he been working on this behind the scenes?
Well, there've been some weapons that have been frowned upon in the Crucible.
Sure. Yeah.
And but now's the time to bring those out.
Yeah.
Anything
Vanguard
that-
outlawing stuff is not something we have time
So we
for.
just got. I think that might be
And
our
if it,
recluse teaser, maybe,
now's
right
time to
there.
bust it out.
All the better. Obviously, yeah.
High risk, high reward. That's how I see it.
And we, if anything, are facing down our biggest risk in the Witness so far, obviously. So making sure that Shaxx goes.
I do agree though, Bungie, like
Nothing generous.
it would probably add a little bit of context in this particular, maybe a Red Death hint as well, Mika, possibly. But yeah, it might add a bit more
I feel like you're not hearing
juice to the proceedings if Bungie showed off a little bit more of the kind of reward element. Because as we know, gameplay is one thing, rewards are sometimes a different thing.
sometimes. Oftentimes, I get off work and immediately I'm like, okay.
I think there was
That
a
was on
there,
me.
Noah, by the way. And I'm not sure if you saw that. That's
But I
Yeah,
immediately
Mountain
get on
Top.
and play. I
Not
do
forgotten,
raids and dungeons.
Luna's Howl.
I've been
You
doing
never
a lot of
know.
Coil recently.
Yeah, my
My Rosaraga.
my dad and I.
I don't know what they do with it exactly,
Every single day after work,
but-
it's just like us texting each other, being like, "Hey, so when you hopping on? When are you done with dinner?"
That's fun.
I imagine we'll probably more so do the easy mode.
That probably gives us a bit of a kind of like narrative explanation.
I think at this point he's more loot paid, my dad, than any of us.
I would love
No
Zalo
problem with that
Supercell
in
to
here.
return. That'd be
Awesome to hear.
absolutely
That's what
awesome.
Destiny is all about, right?
Yeah, it's a
Bringing
lot of
people
fun.
together.
Definitely
Yeah.
a fun weapon.
All right, things are getting pretty intense. Let's see. Out of curiosity as well, I'm not sure if we can mention this one, but is Tom? Is there a light level increase with Into the Light, or is this still at 1830? I believe it is.
It is at the current power.
Current power? Cool.
Yep.
All right, that hasn't changed. Thank you, Nikki Knight, for that question as well.
Oh, it's time. I can make
Is it time?
Okay, no. I don't have enough for that. Nice.
How much scrap you sitting on right now?
I was on 5,000.
Okay.
Oh, I was too late.
Scrapped for cash.
Scrapped
I wasn't
for
playing
cash.
those. You guys on the
Narrative
team,
department.
Honestly, that is, I want to say obnoxiously good. It's always like, man,
We appreciate that.
These guys are just stealing our job. Want to write tweets? No. All right. This is remaining intense. And again, we're still fighting the Hive. We were fighting the Fallen earlier.
Oh my, please.
So there will be multiple sets of the Witnesses' armies going ahead and chasing us down in this activity. Oh dear.
Usually it's
I
just
should
one
have super-
per run.
Right, yeah.
Can see
I was
things
thinking
getting a
about
little
we have
more
to just go
rough
ahead and
now.
Just swap that over just so folks can get a.
We're on wave 34 though. We'll see.
You know it's getting harder when Noah stops flexing.
I know, right? Yeah.
He's actually
Okay,
having
there's a lot going on, you know?
There is.
Like,
fairness. And I think also
I don't
too, this is
believe
something
there
we
will
sort
be
of
a
touched on
power
yesterday
level
when we were
increase
doing our initial
for
playthroughs,
Into the
but,
Light. They
especially
haven't mentioned
high
it, but
levels,
I guess
matchups
it's
that, you know,
it's something they
proverbial,
will probably talk
comparatively
about in the
speaking, longer mark
rewards
the first few
section.
are.
I did
Like,
notice
really
though, Into the Light seems to have its
your
own
team, you gotta make sure that you're really aligning,
you know, like its own
necessarily
icon on the
your
weapon
champion
thumbnails
sending your
as well,
staff
instead of
towards
just
mark,
being
go ahead
this
and
season.
back
So
there,
it's
you can focus your
interesting.
attention, your abilities, your supers on another lane. Actually, also too to that end, obviously the you know, pyramids have been doing some terraforming, but you know, Tom, when you guys were building that activity, how are you guys going about even changing these maps? It looks like you guys have changed the architecture in some pretty significant ways.
Yeah, so when we looked at these maps, right, we want to have like a bunch of distinct lanes for the enemies to kind of like attack the ADU from, and they give you like these fronts that you have to divide your attention across the team. So you really have to be like, oh, they're coming from the left, they're coming from the right. You take this way, I take that way.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times in these maps, they're great for PvP.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the lanes we needed, and the artists and the designers working together like, oh, like what if like the pyramids just like evaporated this building right here.
Yeah.
And
you guys are like, great, let's do it.
yeah, no, and that really, so we had to open up some channels in here, and like that, you know, we got the great, you know, fictional context where we can be like, no, it's forces, it's not, you know, it's not Todd.
Yeah, sure. All right, and also too, I'm getting some word from the Traveler in the Sky. No, I hate to break it to you, but we have come to the end of our gameplay segment. You must return from your throne world.
Oh,
I think I performed
wow.
pretty well. I think
They're not even going
I'll
to
be
try
the
50
first to
waves.
agree with you, especially because I don't want to have to face you down in this activity. I want your help, honestly. When it
yeah,
comes
we'll just
down to it.
1v1 in
See what they
Blue Score
say.
sometime.
Yeah, and also too is I think I think we can say that, but this is going to happen. We maybe won't say where, but this isn't the only location that players are going to have on slot available to them. Yeah, there will be more than that, obviously. Noah, welcome back from the throne world. It's good to see you.
I got a lot of tithes. You know, I feel like Eris and I are comparable right now.
So you're going to turn into a hive? Never mind. I don't want to attempt turning into a hive god. That's fine. We'll leave that for your
That's
own
the next
adventures.
expansion.
Obviously, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. But no, Noah, thank you very much for taking us through that.
Thanks
and
for having
of
me.
course, for everyone here in Twitch chat, thank you for joining us. But before we go ahead and head on out, you know, this is just kind of the first look at what's to come in Destiny 2 Into the Light. Again, as a reminder, we're going to be doing 3 streams showing up all of this content that's going to be coming out, available to all players. And of course, before we go ahead and head off, you know, Tom, you guys have all worked so heavily on this activity. Tom, we'll start with you. When Onslaught releases, when it gets in players' hands on April 9th, what are you most looking forward to?
I really want to see what players do with the defenses. I want to see like what their strategies are. I know Noah's got his strategies. I've got mine. Maybe mine are a little less developed than his. And just to be able to like see. Also, it's a great time to get back in and play. It's gonna be a great time to play Destiny. It's gonna be like new activities, tons of rewards. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be hopping in with me and my sons.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, Jerome, as someone who's gone ahead and helped craft this story to bring this to life, obviously to make sure it fits into the Destiny universe so well, what are you most looking forward to when this releases on April 9th?
First of all, people getting absolutely hyped out of their minds for the final shape, and I want to see what builds arise out of this. It's a kind of a different strategic calculus than we've seen before, so I want to see how the players innovate and deal with this new challenge.
Strategic calculus. I'm going to file that one away. That's the narrative team, everyone. Geez, just making us all look bad. And of course, Noah, you know, you've helped brick by brick put this together, this brand new activity. You know, someone who's obviously spent a ton of time playing it in addition to developing it. You know, when it gets out into the wild, when you've got the chance to play it with your friends, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just getting my reps in, seeing how far we can get, especially on Legend. Get extra rewards, have extra difficulty, just have fun with friends and trying to see, like Jerome was saying, like what builds arise, like what cool stories come out of playing things like this. Like we saw, you can have a big tormentor show up and like all these different things, those little emergent moments are what really makes Onslaught special at the end of the day. And I'm really proud of what the team and everyone's done.
So, what are we thinking, guys? Seeing some mixed opinions in there. It's more of a game mode than I thought we were going to get in a free update from Bungie. That's like my first impression of it. It is a horde mode, right? So like, there's a limit on how interesting that is generally going to be. It's more Destiny content. In terms of something that's free, like, I feel like, they should have had a few more rewards in the mix. They're just talking now about the live stream next week. So this has been the Onslaught preview. There's going to be a live stream about they're going to talk about a new zone for Shaxx to be in and rewards next week. So that's one stream. And then I kind of wonder what the third stream is going to be. Maybe that's going to be more potentially like reprise stuff if they do mess with the the Whisper mission again, or the Black Armory Forges. All of those have been kind of rumored. So I guess we'll see. That theoretically, based on how Bungie are presenting this, there's going to be more to it than just Onslaught, right? So yeah, we're gonna have to see.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.
That's it. They're just signing off. They're doing the things. So yeah, like it's hard to you know, I don't think it's necessarily going to be the most groundbreaking piece of content in respect of like Destiny PvE modes. It is a horde mode. Like that's what I was kind of getting at. There's a limitation on like the scenery and the gameplay element in any horde mode, right? And ultimately it's more Destiny content. So I'm going to kind of reserve most of my opinions till we actually get to play it, right? And see what we're playing it for and what the kind of reward frequency is and how interesting those things are going to be. Black Armory Forges with extra steps confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to do a new mode. I would be surprised if we get a new mode like this as well as the return of something like Black Armory Forges, personally. And that's one of the things that, like, that's a rumor / leak, supposed leak, right, that we're going to see those things and maybe something like the Whisper mission. I'd be surprised if we get all of that as part of a free update, personally. But in terms of this mode, yeah, definitely it's one of those where I'm going to kind of reserve my opinions for when we actually get to play it and see what it's all about. So there we go, guys. For now, that's kind of concluding my part of the stream. I'm going to definitely jump back in and kind of round up all the key details. So hopefully I'll have a video with that in a little bit. But on top of that, it's weekly reset. So I got to get all of that stuff done. Go check out the patch notes. A couple of fixes today in the patch. Hopefully servers are back and alive and behaving good. But yeah, we did spot the Midnight Coup in there and Hung Jury as well. So potentially some interesting rewards there. I'm hoping there's going to be a bunch of stuff. I would love to see the Whisper mission come back as like a reprised exotic mission. Throw some other bits in there, but I don't want to speculate too much. Maybe these rumors have hyped us up. Hyped some of us up a little bit more than perhaps is healthy. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So cheers, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much for chilling out and sharing many an opinion, as often happens. But as always, you guys are absolutely awesome. Cheers for the support on the channel. And how do I feel about Icebreaker? I think it'd be cool to see it back. I think Bungie would have to validate that with some, you know, some juicy perks and maybe a bit of an upgrade on it. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm not going to be overly hyped or not hyped until we know the full scope of Into the Light. I don't know if revealing it over the course of 3 streams is the best thing to do, but I guess we won't really know until next week, right? If they've got something really good to talk about next week and something really good to talk about the following week, then it might just be a positive, but maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it builds too much expectation. We're going to find out, guys. For now, though, very much appreciate you all, as always. I'll catch you in the next video, hopefully, in the next hour or so for the reset. And, yeah, take it easy, my friends. I'll catch you all very soon.